official, 8K is dead, and Sony is the killer. It's Sunday, so it's time to get sensational. I'm Mike, and I'm coming to you in 4K, but unfortunately not in 8K, and apparently neither is the PS5. So it's come up recently that Sony made a change to the PS5. Packaging, that is, and they removed the 8K logo. So when this generation of consoles was announced, one of the things that both Sony and Microsoft advertised is that the consoles can do 8K, because it was kind of a buzzword at the time, and they both had HDMI 2.1, so yeah, they could do it technically. Now realistically, it still takes a lot to run games natively in 4K, so 8K game on one of these consoles was never going to be a real thing. For the most part, I was expecting probably get like some 8K streaming content and maybe a few indie games that could do 8K, but as of now, only one game on PS5, The Tourist, is capable of 8K. So Sony has quietly removed 8K from the PS5 box. Now from a hardware standpoint, the console still has the HDMI 2.1 port, so it can still display 8K, but there's just not much when it comes to 8K content or adoption in general. In most cases, 4K is enough for home displays, unless you're talking about a very large display, so it just hasn't caught on the same way that 1080p and eventually 4K displays have. It's strange that they've removed it from the box considering the console is still capable of it, but maybe it's just that they're not focusing on making 8K content anymore, and they didn't want to mislead people into buying this console for that specific reason. Instead, they probably want people to buy the PSVR2, especially with PC support coming soon. So last week we talked about that document that was discovered in Korea for a PSVR2 PC adapter, and now Sony has made it official. They're releasing the PSVR2 PC adapter on August 7th for $60. So the adapter itself will connect the PC with USB 3.1 connection via USB-A. Then you'll need to connect a DisplayPort cable from your GPU to the adapter and an audio cable from the PC to the adapter. The headset will then plug into the USB-C port in the front of the adapter, and the drivers are set up to work with Steam. So it looks like this is their way around that issue we talked about last week with needing that virtual link port to work, which basically doesn't exist anymore, and the adapter is not too badly priced either. I talked about this when they first announced the PSVR2 if they were going to do PC compatibility, and honestly I didn't think they were at the time, but with their push to PC and the PSVR2 reportedly not selling super well, I mean it launched at a higher price than the PS5, so what did they expect? It makes sense how we got here. Now there are a couple things to note about PC VR support. Sony clarifies in their article that certain features will not be available. For one, the controllers can do vibration, but not the specific special haptic feedback or the haptic triggers designed for PS5. And there's no vibration on the headset itself, so no haptics in the headset. There's no HDR support on PC, and most importantly, there's no eye tracking on PC, which is a huge blow because there aren't a lot of PC headsets that offer eye tracking, and the PSVR2 could have been a good headset for that. I'm not sure if that's something that could be added in the future, but for now, no eye tracking on PSVR2 on PC. As a side note, I personally just picked up a PSVR2 because they're on sale right now, and I have a lot of thoughts about it, but that's for another video. Either way, I'll probably be picking up the adapter when it releases in August and giving PC VR support a try. You know what else is probably coming to PC and possibly even PS5? A remastered version of Halo Combat Evolved. So there is a new rumor making the rounds that Halo might be getting another remaster. It was previously remastered, and then that was later on added to the Master Chief Collection, but I'm guessing that if this is true, this may be a more substantial remaster. The previous remaster was just a graphical update, but of course, the second part of the rumor is that they may release it on PS5. Now, this wouldn't be too far-fetched considering they recently started bringing some more of their games to other platforms like Sea of Thieves and Hi-Fi Rush. So I could see this happening. I mean, it will be a remaster of a game from 2001, and if someone only played a PlayStation, they may have never even played a Halo before, so it could be a way to re-release that game to an audience that potentially may have never played it. The Xbox Showcase is happening today, so it's possible by the time this video goes up, there may be more information about this game if this rumor is true. But one thing we knew to be true is that Asus would officially reveal the ROG Ally X last Sunday. In fact, the rest of the video is basically going to be about PC handhelds. So let's talk about what they're doing with the X. So for one, it's black instead of being white. So like the colors changed. We can definitely confirm that. But outside of that, we already knew it's going to have the same screen and the same Z1 Extreme APU. But they actually changed quite a bit. So the storage is now 1 terabyte in the box with a 2280 size SSD, which means it can be upgraded at a way lower price for those size SSDs, which tend to be cheaper than the smaller 2230s that were used with the Steam Deck and the previous Ally. It's also going from 16 to 24 gigs of RAM. They also doubled the battery from 40 watt hours to 80, so you can play games handheld for more than an hour. Now the big thing for me personally, and this is making me consider upgrading, is that they got rid of the XG mobile port and put USB 4 so you can use a standard Thunderbolt eGPU enclosure. The issue that I had with the Ally is that their external GPUs are super expensive, like 2 times more than the device itself. I already have a Thunderbolt eGPU enclosure that I use with my GPD 1.3, where you can just slap a standard desktop graphics card in there and it works via Thunderbolt or USB 4. So theoretically, you could dock the device to a TV and get way better graphics. So it may not matter to people who never plan to use an external GPU, but for me, that's a huge upgrade. The bad thing is it's $100 more, so it's going to be starting at $800. And like they did with the original Ally, it is launching soon after they announced it, so it's expected to be available sometime next month. But wait a minute, because the Ally X may not be the handheld to get, because Zotac is coming in to play in the handheld zone with the gaming zone. Let's just go ahead and talk about it today. And our final story. So last week we talked about the leaks with Zotac's new handheld, the Zotac Gaming Zone, and now at Computex they've officially revealed it. So like it was rumored, it's going to have a Ryzen 7 8840U with Radeon 780M graphics, 16 gigs of DDR5 RAM, a 512 gig SSD, and a 48.5 watt-hour battery, which is better than the current Ally, but not the upcoming X. It also has USB 4, so potential eGPU support as well. It also has Hall effect triggers and thumbsticks, and as well as that 120Hz 1080p OLED display. Now it does have a couple things that are unique outside of the OLED screen. It has a ring around the left thumbstick, which seems to act as like a scroll wheel, and you can set it to custom functions in game. The triggers have the option for 2 stops, so you could do a shorter throw if you want to, kind of like you could do with like the Xbox Elite controller or other high-end controllers. It has dual touchpads like the Steam Deck. It also has a webcam, which is a change for these handhelds. You can kind of almost use it as a laptop, and it has a kickstand. More handhelds should have kickstands. The Times Guide article also mentioned they have their own launcher for Windows, and it's similar to Asus's Armory Crate that they use on the ROG Ally, which is functional. Now going back to that OLED display, it does support HDR, which is awesome, but I couldn't find any information on if it will have adaptive refresh rate or if it just has a fixed refresh rate like 60 and 120. I found an article from the Shortcut where they said they asked, but they didn't get confirmation, so I'm guessing it probably won't have adaptive refresh rate, but it's not a deal breaker. It's just a nice to have for games running at lower frame rates. It can help the experience feel smoother. Now there's no firm pricing or release date, but Tom's Guide speculates that it'll be $700-800 and it's probably going to come in August. So between the ROG Ally X and Zotac's Gaming Zone handheld, the PC gaming market is still pretty exciting. But let me know which one you have picked down below in the comments, the ROG Ally X or the Zotac Gaming Zone. Again, let me know down below. And if you enjoyed this video, then make sure to tell a friend, tell a coworker, like, share, subscribe, and hit that bell notification button thing to be notified when I drop a video or a live stream. And always do at least 2 things at the same time.